Hey, what's up YouTube? Recently I watched a video entitled The World's Most Fanciest McDonald's. There's several of them, but one in particular caught my eye. There is a McDonald's in Rotterdam, shout out to the Netherlands, that looks like the fanciest, coolest, most modern McDonald's that I have ever seen, and I have decided to use that as inspiration. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the fanciest McDonald's that I have ever made. This thing is the Apple Store of McDonald's. I love this thing, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. If you do enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me and the channel out very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And try and watch as much of this video as you possibly can, ladies and gentlemen. It helps a ton. But without any further ado, it's time to get fancy. Here is the amount of space required to make your fancy McDonald's, an 18 by 23 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would always recommend making if you are planning out your world. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So let's say that you've made the grid. Come all the way over to the front left hand corner of it and count inwards diagonally, not once, but twice. We're going to start out by digging out the foundation. So we're going to dig out this block, and we're going to dig out 3 rows to the right of it. 1, 2, 3. Leave a gap of 1 and then dig 4 more rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dig backwards twice. 1, 2, and then dig to the right. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to dig backwards by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to mark out this point in particular by placing a light grey concrete in here. Then we're going to continue digging backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're now going to take this 6th block and we're going to dig across the back of the build by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dig towards you by 2. 1, 2. Leave a gap of 2 and then dig to the right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then dig forwards by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Leave a gap of 1 and then just dig all the way towards the front of the build. So that might seem really confusing, but it's actually given us quite a satisfying little floor plan. So with this floor plan, the first thing that I want to do is I want to raise up the light grey concrete that we placed earlier by an additional 1, just to keep it marked out. We're then going to fill in the essentially trench that we have created using light grey concrete. So all the way around. I realise that I've just missed a block there, but that's okay, we can hit that a little bit later. So we want to fill in this entire trench using light grey concrete. So it'll now look a little something like this. All of the gaps are doorways. The entire floor of our McDonald's, and I do mean it, the entire floor, is going to be chiseled quartz. So if you like, and we can do this now because we'd have to do it sometime or later, we've got to dig out the entire floor and replace it. So again, I'm going to be using chiseled quartz. Feel free to use something else if you like. But this being the modern McDonald's that it is, the very modern, possibly fanciest McDonald's one has ever seen, certainly the fanciest that I've ever seen, then chiseled quartz just seems to go. You know, it just seems like the right material. So all of this floor is going to disappear, And now we can start to gradually fill it all in. And once the floor has been done, we can start working on the sides of our McDonald's. So actually building up the structure a little bit. And the structure is luckily very, very easy because, I mean, most of it is transparent. Like, most of it is like glass and a little bit of light grey concrete. So it's such a cool McDonald's. I really do like the design. It is incredibly modern, and I don't know, it's just the whole build just seems to flow so very well. So now that we have done this, what we are now going to do is raise up the non-transparent parts of McDonald's. So I want to come all the way over to the light grey concrete here on the right, because this seems like a good starting point, and I want to extend this light grey concrete to the left by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to the left meaning inwards. I then want to extend this block backwards, and I want to join it to the actual outer part of our McDonald's like this. And I want to extend it all the way back along this line. Then I'm going to raise up the light grey concrete that surrounds it to kind of like turn it into this shape. So all of these rows want to get raised up by 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, just like this. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like this. So this back right portion of McDonald's should look like this. So not only do we want to do this to this portion of McDonald's, but we also want to do this along the back of McDonald's as well. So we want to raise up this back row by 3 rows, actually by 4 rows, because we didn't have the first initial row like this. We want to leave enough room for a double door here where we have the chiseled quartz, so just a 2 by 2 space. And then along the side here, we want to have, it's 8 rows in total, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see that it lines up with what we have over there. And these rows also want to be raised up as well. And for the most part, like, this is the lower part of McDonald's in terms of like light grey concrete, if that makes sense. So that's like the structure that's not transparent. We want to raise up this part of McDonald's specifically even further. So you can install a floor inside here using chiseled quartz, because this is an isolated area. It's actually a toilet. It's a 2-story toilet, would you believe? And at this entire right side here, we are going to raise it up by a further 3. So like 1, 2, 3, just like this. And essentially just in a rectangle, we just want to extend all of it up. And this will give us some nice guidelines for what is going to be happening next. So literally just all the way around like this. This is, I mean, it's going to stick out pretty much. Like the whole thing's going to stick out rather nicely. So there we go. That's what we want to have so far. So the next thing is to add all of the glass to McDonald's. I think that that's probably the next move. So we're going to be using glass pane because I find it to be the most transparent of the transparentest glass. And I want to basically just run glass pane. Oh, by the way, block is also a good... Block would work as well. Pane is actually a pane to work with, so we want to place glass pane all the way along the base, and we want to raise up the glass pane to be as high as, at the very least, we'll start off by doing this, but it is going to transcend this. We want to raise it up so it's as high as like the first floor of the McDonald's, but ultimately all of the glass pane is going to be as high as the area that we have over there on the back right portion of McDonald's. And by the way, they have changed the texture for glass pane. It didn't used to have all of these separations, so it's possible that glass block at this point might be a better block for this, but I guess we can always use texture packs and stuff. Glass pane used to almost be like you couldn't really see the connections between the panes, but in, I believe, I want to say that it's 1.17 is the current release as of making this, that they've just changed it so that you can quite clearly see that all of the glass panes are like joined together in like a kind of like a checkered sort of pattern. Well, not checkered, but kind of like they almost look like bars almost, but it's okay. I mean, we can still see through them. It just doesn't have the same effect as it once did, but it's still nice. Okay, so now that we've done this, we should probably work on the actual floor. I want to work on the second floor before we add the second floor. You try and work that one out. So, this back portion here, I'm going to use smooth quartz. That is block of quartz. That is not smooth quartz. But I have smooth quartz slabs. Let's try that again. We're going to fill the second floor in using smooth quartz. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I actually don't mind quartz block itself, but smooth quartz is what I'm looking for. So this entire back portion can be filled in and we can create a roof. What we also want to do is we want to place 2 rows of smooth quartz that sit in front of the light grey concrete area here. And as I mentioned, these 2 blocks are actually bathrooms. So the first bathroom entrance is going to be here, and we want to use chiseled quartz. And the second entrance is actually equivalent and below, so you can see like where the entrances to the toilets will be. What we now want to do is we want to extend a staircase. I don't know why I don't have quartz stairs. I'm really doing a horrible job with these materials in this particular tutorial. I'm sorry, I should have all the proper things on me, but I guess that I'm just a bad YouTuber. So I want to take the very end of the rows of smooth quartz here, and I want to place smooth quartz stairs, and then I'm going to place upside down stairs underneath, smooth quartz stairs, upside down underneath. And now I want to use smooth quartz blocks. I want to place 2 rows, so like 1, 2, like here. I don't want it to connect to the glass. And then we're going to add another row of smooth quartz block, I want to say 1, or is it 2? It might be 2 actually. I don't think it is 2, so it's just 1, and then we're going to connect the stairs together, and then if possible, because we've made it very difficult for ourselves, I think that we've just got to maneuver around a little bit, just place upside down stairs just on those last 2 portions. So the staircase, it should be a little bit curved, and it should look like this. Now, re-entering the pillar quartz. So the pillar quartz's purpose is to, well, funnily enough, it's going to act as pillars. They're supposed to look like structurally integral parts of the build. So we've got 1 pillar here that extends out of the corner of the stairs, and then we are going to leave a gap of 1, and we're going to have another pillar here. Or are we going to... Yeah, we're going to have the pillar here. So we're going to extend these up, and these particular pillars actually want to be as high as the light grey concrete that we have in the back right portion, so you can see here. In addition to this, we also want to have a row of pillar quartz that is parallel to the first row, and it actually joins the glass, and once again it's as high as the rest of the pillar quartz rows. So we have to create a further part of the upstairs, and to achieve that we're just simply going to extend the quartz, the smooth quartz, forwards like this. We're going to extend it all the way forwards like so. We're going to fill this little gap in here, and we're going to place a couple of rows of smooth quartz slabs in front of this. This is in front of the pillar quartz. Now the benefit of the slabs is that it doesn't grip onto glass, which is cool. So if you have an aversion to that, you can actually sneakily, in a few places, you can actually install some slabs to kind of just stop that happening. Certain places, going to be impossible, obviously, like, you know, like where we have the pillar quartz. I mean, it just has to be this way. But if you don't like that, and I'm not a fan of it, Like, you can just use slabs in a little bit of a cheeky way. And we can even, we can augment that over here as well. And you can kind of just stop the glass gripping as much. And I don't know, it's just a better look in my opinion. So, what are we going to be doing next? We've got to raise the glass up even further. So now that we've kind of like added the structure of McDonald's, we've actually done a really good job. I mean, there's not too much of McDonald's that is missing for the interior. Like, we've got to raise up all of the glass so it's as high as the light grey concrete. This is going to take a little while because I don't know, my hand-eye coordination is horrible. Not only am I a bad YouTuber, but who forgets materials, but I also cannot place glass pane in a timely fashion, so... No, okay, that failed. I wanted to, like, extend it just all the way over. There we go. I'm noticing that the glass as well, by the way, is... it looks ever so slightly more blue. They've definitely added more blue into the glass. The entrances, but I want to drop the glass down, and I want to make it so that the entrances are, like... form-fitting. Like, they only have to be 2 by 1. Like, we don't have to make the entrances too big, like, or too small actually. But yeah, Goldilocks, they want to be just right. So we just want to... Oh, and also, I mean, I haven't mentioned this, I suppose, but we want to place glass on the grey concrete that we have, like the lower row of grey concrete that obviously it's only about half as high as the red, like all of this wants to be glass. Like, we just want to place glass on it, and we want to join it all back to the toilet block essentially. So here, like this, and we will have something. I mean, it's looking pretty good. That looks like this. It's looking like a very fancy building, but I will say this, it looks a little bit lifeless, and now this is where we fix it. So the way that we're going to fix it is simple. We'll start with the front of the glass area. So this is what I consider to be the main entrance. There's 2 of them, but this is the main one. And I want to place a row of red concrete on top of the main entrance area. I also want the red concrete to be 4 rows high. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I want to, on these sides, I have to extend backwards by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this. Do we make it 9? I'm pretty sure there is 8 though, that's the thing. So we'll see in a second. We'll just start with 8 and then we'll raise up all of these red concretes. The number is specific and I'll explain why in a second. So now that we've placed the red concrete, grab the yellow and come to the bottom left hand corner of the front of the sign area. Move inwards by 2. 1, 2, place a yellow, gap of 1, place a yellow, gap of 1, place a yellow. Raise up those yellows by 2 rows each, and then join them together at the top diagonally. Boom, we have our McDonald's M. We don't only want to have that there though, we want the same effect on the left side here. And we're going to start from the bottom right hand corner. We're going to leave a gap of 2, so 1, 2, yellow, gap of 1, yellow, gap of 1, yellow. That is actually the perfect size for the sign because we raise up each of these up by 2 and then we place diagonals above and in between, and there you go. Now, why that specifically? The M is perfectly centered with the red concrete, so I guess it will just leave it like that. I want to join the red, but I want to make a rectangle. So I guess it's a square, right? Well, I want to make a square then. So I want to make a square by joining the red concrete together, just, corner to corner, 90-degree angle, just like this, easy peasy, just like so. And then I'm going to place grey concrete on top of the remaining glass area. So we're actually going to have 2 rows of grey concrete on top of the light grey concrete and the glass, like this. So here, 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 and then just an additional row just along the top of the glass, like this, here, here. So this is what it will look like, and I find that it looks really nice and modern. Like I think it really does turn the entire build over. Like, it really does just look so much better. I'm going to fill the I think I'm going to fill the entire ceiling of the McDonald's in using either grey or red. So this is the roof, so this is a little bit different, but I think that the entire... Do we make it red or do we make it grey? Here's the thing. Maybe red, because... Let's try red. We're going to do red, so we're going to make the bottom... Maybe we'll even leave the top open a little bit. So, okay. We're going to fill the... We're going to fill this in with red. And I guess that the toilet can have a red ceiling also. And... yeah, I mean, we'll just see how it looks. I mean, this can always be changed later. I think that I did red in the original, and I think I liked it. It just... the only contention that I have with it is that I'm not sure that it looks... Like, I don't know if having too much red looks a little bit weird, like if it fits the theme, is what I think I'm trying to say. So, I don't know, I guess we'll just see. So, here, here, here. I mean, it's not that it doesn't, it's just that, you know, because it's supposed to be like mega modern and mega fancy, like, I don't know. I'm probably just being silly because it does feel quite nice, so... Let's take a look at the actual roof from the outside, because I'm not 100%... Yeah, I mean, I'm actually pretty happy with the roof also. I don't mind the two-tone roof. You could fill that in using grey if you wanted to, but I'm tempted just to leave it. That's a decision we can always make later anyway. So, now that we've done that, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually made, like, the majority of the outside. There's not really too much to do in terms of the outside. So... the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to figure out, I'm going to take a second, figure out what materials we're going to be using just to make some more of the inside, and then I'll be back in a second once I've figured that out. Okay, so I've figured out what we're going to do next. Grab the oak stairs, oak planks, light grey concrete, smooth quartz stairs, weighted pressure plates, furnaces, red concrete, black concrete, and glass pane. So, first of all, let's head inside of the build, and I want to create the kitchen space, and the cooking area, and kind of like the customer area, and I just want to create the divide between like where people would be working, and where people would be ordering and eating. So, come to the back left-hand corner of McDonald's, and move to the right by 1. So, this corner, move to the right by 1. You want to find the 5th block coming forward. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's stick a light grey concrete there. Extend it up to the ceiling and place 2 upside down smooth quartz stairs right to the light grey concrete. Place light grey concrete on the end, join it to the ceiling. I think that we're now going to extend a row of light grey concrete behind this, and I'm not 100% sure. It looks as though I think that actually we're just going to place the furnaces in this bottom space here, and then I want to place a glass guard at the top of them, but 1 row behind. I also want to place red concrete behind the upside down quartz stairs like this, so that we get this effect like looking inwards. We also have to reduce the amount of space that we have just here on the left, so I want to make just enough room for a doorway, and then leaving a gap of 1 in front of this light grey area, leave a gap of 1, and then stick an oak plank. Dig in the actually, my bad. Leave a gap of 2, then place an oak plank, dig in the ground to the right. We're going to have to remedy what we've just done. Place light grey concrete in the ground, and then let me just fix that. There we go. And then upside down oak wood stairs right of the oak planks. So that creates the counter space. I'm going to place a couple of tills. This is basically just a couple of quartz stairs. Weighted pressure plates next to them because it feels right. And then I want to create some monitors. There's always monitors like above people's heads at McDonald's and fast food places in general. So I want to make some double wide monitors using black concrete. They're kind of just like above and behind the tills. It kind of obscures the vision a little bit, so I suppose it's even a little bit more private back there. Nobody really likes being watched as they work, I suppose. I want to set up some of the like self-ordering computers, I don't know what to call it, but the self-ordering devices. So that's going to be upside down quartz stairs, like in front of the bathroom here, like just next to the door, upside down stairs, gap, upside down stairs. I also want to have the same thing over here as well. So like where we have this pillar, I want to have 2 of them as well. So left and right, upside down stairs, just like this. Perfect. The next thing that we're going to do is, I guess we'll grab some more material so that we can kind of like finish out this front part. So we'll need paintings, we'll need end rods, we'll need flower parts, we'll need lanterns, we'll need the detector rails, we'll need, I guess we'll need cauldrons and tripwire hooks a little bit later on as well. And we're going to take this drinks machine here and we're going to place a couple of flower pots on these stairs with a couple of tripwire hooks above. Then on top of the furnaces, we're going to place detector rails like this. You can even, if you want to be sneaky, you can hide a couple of lanterns behind these monitors to brighten things up. Paintings are just going to be used to make it look as though something important is on the monitors. We really should grab the white concrete as well, and we don't really need glass anymore, and the weighted pressure plates. And these self-ordering machines, I'm basically just going to chuck white concrete on top of the upside down stairs. And then we're going to place paintings inside of these. It doesn't matter which ones, genuinely. We've got 3 of the same painting, but ironically those are the paintings that are actually of food, so it does make sense. And stick some weighted pressure plates on top of them. For those of you that are unaware, I'm almost 100% certain that that is a kebab, or supposed to be a kebab. So now that we've done that, we're rapidly approaching the limit of what we can do downstairs. Let's move into the bathroom area, and then we can move into the, we can probably do the kitchen. So for the bathroom area, we're going to need the oak planks, we'll need the cauldron, tripwire hook, lanterns, red concrete, we need the stairs, what else might we... I don't think that we really need too much more than that. Let me just make sure. Oh, of course, forgetting an integral part. We will need doors. We'll need trapdoors. And then something that looks like hand sanitizer or something. But I guess that the stairs might be possible to use. So basically, along this little side wall here, we're going to have... This is very, very easy. We're going to have like a gap, oak planks, gap, oak planks, gap. Cauldrons in between, birch trapdoors on top of the cauldrons, birch doors, and then you can either make these stores like as high as the ceiling or add slabs on top. Then opposite these areas, we're going to have like red concrete, and then upside down stairs, red concrete, upside down stairs, red concrete. Tripwire hooks where the actual upside down stairs are. And then, like I said, I want sanitizer, like something that... what I'm trying to say is, I want something that looks like either hand sanitizer or a hand dryer or something like that. And stairs just kind of do it, you know? A solid block with a stone button would also work, but... I'm going to stick a lantern in here, and I think that that's the bathroom done. The door to the bathroom can also be birch. That's no problem. Let's do the exact same upstairs. So literally, I mean... the exact same. So gap, oak, raise this up to the ceiling like this. Cauldron, cauldron, cauldron. Birch trapdoor, birch trapdoor, birch trapdoor. Red concrete, upside down stairs, red concrete, upside down stairs, red concrete, tripwire hooks, lantern in the middle, smooth quartz stairs here and here to look like a dispenser or a dryer or whatever, and that's all there is to it. I mean, that's pretty much, they're the bathrooms. Do I have any? I don't have what I need to just, outside the bathroom up here, I mean, I guess you could put 2 more of those, like up here, but I'm actually, so to me, okay, so this, you tell me whether this logic works. It wouldn't make sense to have, like, more ordering machines upstairs, like... I mean, I guess it would if you wanted to, like... If you just weren't quite filled up enough with your first set of food, like, I mean, maybe... I mean, and who am I to judge? Then, you know, maybe a second... It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess it would. You could always come downstairs and order more food, and like, it doesn't make sense that you'd have more ordering stuff up there. I guess for the very lazy among us, maybe be included, that'd be a good idea. But otherwise, it just doesn't seem to make sense. So anyway, the actual door to the kitchen, that's going to be here. I'm sticking an actual door here. If you want an employee entrance / exit, so like this is a good place to put one. And now we can work on the kitchen a little bit, although I don't think that we've got all of our materials, and I actually know that we haven't. So but let's use everything that we can use, and then we will move on to the final part of this tutorial. So, light grey concrete, we need pressure plates, we need the cauldron, we need the tripwire hooks, we need these smooth quartz slabs, we can use flower parts, and we'll just start off with this. So along this back wall, I'm going to have a cauldron, tripwire hook, sanitization, we need... It's a sink. We need to have a row of light grey concrete that extends all the way over here to this door. We're going to stick a weighted pressure plate to the right here. We can have item frames on this counter. I'm going to stick a little bit of a shelf, and this can have flower parts or something else in it. We can even hang item frames off and use tools that we would have in a kitchen. And behind this, I'm also going to stick some light grey concrete. And there we go. The only thing that we do have on us that we can use, we have like paintings. Oh, I guess that we have like some of the table. Maybe we can lay out some tables as well. We'll have to just flip between upstairs and downstairs, I suppose. But we're going to make the door handles outside, like where we have the glass doors. I'm just going to use end rods as door handles. These are basically going to be free floating, one row off the ground, pointed upwards. Or down, it doesn't matter like where the grey part is, and it'll just look a little something like this. And it's honestly, I'm pretty happy with that so far. That looks pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of like all we can do right now. So we are now going to have to head upstairs, and we are going to add some of the tables in, because we have most of what we need for the tables. So let's grab... For the tables, we need like spruce wood stairs, spruce trap doors, spruce slabs, we need end rods, and I mean even paintings for a bit of decoration will work as well. So let's focus along this wall right here, like the wall that like adjoins the toilet and all of that. So we're just going to have some double wide tables, so 2 stairs, gap, 2 stairs, gap, 2 stairs, and then end rods in front of the stairs like this. And then spruce trap doors on top of the tables. Why am I using spruce? Because inside the McDonald's, the chairs all look like nice leather fancy chairs. So, you know, spruce sort of looks like leather, and kind of like some nice hardwood tables, I suppose. So, above all of these, I want to place paintings as well. So I'm looking for the 2x1s specifically, or 2x2s I should say, my bad. It doesn't really matter which ones you pick, something like that looks okay. I want to have another set of tables like running across this opposite wall here as well, so the exact same thing. It's not going to be too crowded upstairs inside this McDonald's. Like this, that's not the point of it. It's supposed to be kind of like nice and free and open. Not free as in the sense of like, you know, it's actually free to eat here, but you know, it's meant to feel nice and airy and open. We're going to have a couple of different style of tables. So where this pillar starts here, I'm going to have a couple of stairs. I think a couple of stairs, yeah, and then leave a gap of 1, and then kind of like just a smaller table, a shorter table, so a couple of slabs, and then a gap of 1, and then, oh my bad, and then a couple of stairs, some slabs, and honestly, that'll do it. I want to have some lighting. So one light is going to line up with this end table, the other light is going to end up with this end table, and we're going to leave a gap of 1, so we have 3 sets of end rods. We'll add some plants here. We might even add glass here as well. Like, it makes sense that there would be glass here. I don't want it here, but there it actually makes sense. And like I said, it's supposed to be like nice and open and chilled out up here. It's not meant to be like intensely crowded and what have you. So, as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, we're kind of at the point here where it's like we're struggling to find the uses for our remaining materials. I'm sure that there are some, but you know, we'd be better off by grabbing some new ones. And we don't need many, so I'll be back in just a second once I've figured out what we need. Okay, so I figured it out, and we don't really need many. I've grabbed the dark oak trapdoors, the birch fence, green glazed terracotta, the block of iron, buttons, item frames, red shulker box, red dye, and yellow dye. Plus, by the way, some optional extras. We might grab some different things to work as like tools that we might use in the kitchen, and some other stuff, but for the most part this is going to do us. So I'm going to head upstairs because we don't need to do very much up here. So I'm going to place dark oak trap doors underneath the end rods. that we have suspended in between the kind of like free seating just at the front here. And I'm also going to add some potted plants, or some actual fake plants. But anyway, so in front of these pillars, I'm going to place birch fence with a couple of glazed green on top. I want to have the same setup here next to the toilet, so I want to have like a... So I want to have a birch fence, gap, birch fence, a couple of green glazed terracottas on top. So just... looks exactly like this, looking pretty good. It just makes the area just look a little bit fancier, a little bit greener. It just adds a little something to it, especially from the outside as well, but it just makes it feel a little bit better. So we're going to drop down now, and we're going to head into the kitchen. First of all, I want to add a set of red shulker boxes along the top of this area here. I want to place item frames where possible. Now, in Java, one can place item frames underneath these slabs. Can't in bedrock, so I'm going to place on top of this. I'm just going to place like red dye, and I'm going to place some item. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to place item frames where I can along this counter space. I'm also going to place them hanging off of this quartz here. In addition to this, I'm going to place some item frames behind like where the food is being kept warm. I also want to... I think that we might have to move it. Okay, so here... No, we don't have to move anything. So next to where the food is kept warm, ironically, we're going to put a fridge, which is 2 iron blocks with buttons. In addition to that, on the opposite side, we're going to have a block of iron, and this is meant to be like a freezer, a fridge freezer, or something like. You can use anything for the top of it. You can... I guess it'd just be it wouldn't be a fridge freezer, so like you could use a dark trap door, or you could use an iron trap door. It doesn't really matter. It's very inconsequential. But these item frames, and by the way, I mean we've majoritively done at this point. These are very small details. We are missing a couple of materials actually that I would like to use. So I suppose just to keep things in kind of like in flow, I'm gonna grab the oak trap door, and then what would make sense to have in a kitchen? Like, this kind of looks like a spatula, so this would make sense. So we'll just use a couple of these. So we'll use an iron trap door on top of the freezer here, and we just want to use a couple of iron shovels. And again, that just looks like something that one would use to flip burgers or something similar to that. Which is something that we are actually missing in here, by the way. I guess we have furnaces here, which looks as though that you could cook food on it. But really, we are kind of like just missing kind of like a grill in here, which wouldn't make too much sense, would it? So I suppose that we could put a spatula here. I suppose we can turn this into a grill. So all of that, by the way, whilst I am grabbing these will all have been in the item list, so I'm sure that you'll have grabbed these as well. But a couple of blast furnaces with polished pressure plates on top of these. I mean, and then suddenly you've got a grill. And then, actually, we could still maintain the shelf that we had. I wish I'd start throwing materials away. We could still have the shelf, and we can still have the spatula and stuff. So we can still have a shelf like this. And then we can have it, I mean, it just looks like, tools here. And if you wanted to, you can even have, like, buttons here as well. You can be kind of sneaky and kind of, like, add shulker boxes here. Like, maybe you wouldn't want to perhaps use red because they blend in too much. But if you use, like, grey or light grey, like, it just looks like additional space like this. So, and honestly, I mean, this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually made, like, 99.99999% of the McDonald's. All we have to do is we just have to do the floor outside. So the reason that I've left this until last, because usually like there's a drive-thru and stuff like this, like the actual McDonald's that this is based on, like this is 100% based on an actual McDonald's. Not 100, like it is 100% based on it. It's not 100% accurate, but it's 100% based on it. It's in the city. It's like in the middle of a city. Like it's in the middle of a busy street. So like this McDonald's is actually like completely surrounded by like concrete and pavement and stuff, like benches and bins around it and stuff. So that's why I haven't really taken too much stock into like doing the surrounding area. Like usually there would be drive-thrus, as I mentioned. There'd be order boards. There'd be car park spaces. There'd be hedges. There'd be walls. But this one is literally meant to be stuck on a high street, which is where I'm going to be putting this one when I eventually get to building this in Stream City, check out the playlist, in Stream City, this will be put on a high street, on like a busy street, like it's not going to be accessible by cars. I'm sure that you guys have encountered a McDonald's or two that has the same sort of setup, so not every single one of these has to be accessible by car. I guess eventually we have to use our legs probably to burn off the McDonald's, but yeah, this is what the McDonald's, we've finished. We've kind of got nothing else to add to it now that we've added just a little bit of a path around the outside. Feel free to add something different if you like. Let's take a proper look at this. Let me clean up the area, and I guess we'll have to say our goodbyes. So this is what our super fancy, mega modern McDonald's will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed making this build as much as I enjoyed designing and making it. I've really got to stop making McDonald's. All it does is make me want it. I love this place. I'm really happy with the result, and I hope that you are too. If you have enjoyed it, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, I would highly urge that you check out the City Builds playlist, card description. It's in the card system and the description below, and also the comment section. It's in so many different places, you should be able to find it. I think that my brain's malfunctioning. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much. I'm going to cut this off before I lose the ability to speak altogether. I love you all very much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.